All right, Ken, pretty joyful scenes in the locker room post-game there. What does that mean for the club, this victory today?
Well, I think it's a great victory for us, and obviously it opens up the title race again, and it means South Hobart's in that title race. So I think it's a massive effort from them today.
Were you worried midway through the half that the season was potentially slipping away?
Yeah, I mean, you think that, but then you have to do your job and think how you can change things up to get the advantage. Obviously, Kobe had played for 40 minutes, 55 minutes in the reserves, and he looked comfortable. So, you know, we needed a bit of creativity in there and somebody to steady the ship, and I think he did a great job.
Kemp sets up the equaliser, and then Walter puts you ahead. You must be happy as the coach, pulling the trigger on 2 subs, and they both lead to goals.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what we get paid the big dollars for, isn't it? But I know it was quality by the boys. I was really impressed with the last 20 minutes. I thought we came strong after combating a very difficult side, because again, that long ball game, the little flick-ons, the pace of Fisher up front, and his left peg is pretty lethal. So I think overall it's a great result for us.
How important was that first early goal, Ken?
I think that's also a way to start. It puts them on the back foot, and we had good control for quite long periods until they got the equaliser. So it's very important to get off to a good start, and we seem to do that at Darcy Street. We seem to do well here.
What does it say about your playing group, the way you just keep pulling these games out late on in games? What does that tell you about the players you've got?
You know, we've been up at the top, and we've been under second and third, and we've had to claw our way through games, and it's just the character of the players. We train hard, we train for 90 minutes, and we can run the time out. I mean, you saw those guys going down with cramps today, and we kept going, and it was a strong effort from us.
Do you think the extra fitness was what allowed you to dominate at the end there?
I think the two substitutes, Walter comes on, his quality, Kemp his quality. I think the changes were made at the right time to give us a bit extra oomph up there, and I think, yeah, we were super fit, I thought.
Outside of the cup, would you say that's your best win this season?
I think so. It was a good performance all round, because we had to fight. You know, there's times when you've got to grind it out as well. It's not always pretty. I mean, they were very keen to press us high up the park, which is not normal for them. Normally they let us have a bit of possession and then play on the counter-attack, so it was a bit different.
How much confidence will it give the group to know that you've knocked over the top side?
Well, I think the group knew they could beat them, because we drew up there in Lawney and we should have beaten them then. We beat them quite comprehensively in the Cup, so I think we were always confident if we could play our football we would get a result today, and I think that's the way it went.
Do you think you've burst their bubble, Ken, and they'll decline now?
No, I think we've got to give them a bit of credit that they're a better side than what we give them credit for. They really work hard for each other. I mean, the pressure's on them now. I would think they have a few sore boys, and it'll be how they can pick them up now.
Ken, Brown's save at 2-1 was massive.
Yeah, he's a super young keeper, absolutely brilliant, and he's working with a thorough professional in Graham Wright and Neil Connell, so while the goalkeepers are working with him, he's going to get better. A super prospect.
Is your depth off the interchange one of your side's strongest assets?
When we get them all back, it hasn't been for a few weeks, but to have Kobe Kemp, Alec Walter, even though they had knocks on that bench, should the teams look at that and then they wonder what's going on. I mean, Daniel Brown, Alec Walter and Kobe Kemp are first team players, so that's incredible when you can do that.
Right, cheers, Ken.
Thank you.
Jez, what's the immediate feeling and reaction after that result?
A loss is always painful, empty, especially when we know we should have buried the game in the first 60-70 minutes. You know, I think we had 9 corners, didn't bury any. So, you know, once you don't do that, you're going to let the other team come in at some stage. You know, they got subs like Walter and guys coming in. It's hard to compete against that. But saying that, I thought we were the better team for the first 60-70 minutes. I think for majority of the game, we were the better squad.
Do you put it down to extra depth or extra fitness that was decisive in the end?
Composure. I think they're more experienced team. They're bigger body, more, elder. They've been together for a long time. And when you bring Dogger Brown on, he's an extremely experienced guy. Bring Toby Cam on, extremely experienced guy. So I think experience showed more than anything else.
you've not been through this experience in the league yet in your tenure, bouncing back from a loss. What was your message to the players?
I told them we were the better team in the first 70 minutes. It was the last 10 that we gave it away to some extent. I think we got a pocket picked in this way. I was fairly confident in the first 60, 70 minutes. I thought we were very comfortable for 60, 70 minutes. But in any game, if you don't take your chances, you don't bury your chances, the other opponents will punish you. And they did. They took their chances. So.
Were you shocked at the early goal you conceded?
We are very shocked. It was very soft too. We should have cleared the header straight away. Shouldn't have even got to Nico. But I thought after that, I don't think we were the far better team from then onwards. So I think they got lucky today.
Tyler Fisher, another pretty dominant performance up top. Was there a plan to really try and get his pace in behind today?
I think so. I mean, they played. We planned for them to play back three, which they did. We know they play Cookie pretty high up, so they're almost playing with the back two. So we know we're going to use the space at the back, which is what we did. I think we had the plan. At times the execution let us down. At times just pure bad luck. A couple of pinballs. I think one of their goals was just pinballs, and the pinballs went towards in their favour. So and they scored. And it was interesting that they claim to be a tiki-taka passing team. All their goals came with long balls. So maybe they're watching us and learning something. So.
Would you say that that's the price you pay being at the top of the table? Everyone tries to emulate the way you go about things.
Well, if that's the case, then we're doing something good. They used to claim to be the pioneering team, but they're not at the moment either. They're playing long balls, stream like us. Devonport is doing the same thing. So.
Jez, do you think the next 2 weeks will decide your season?
Oh yeah. I think the third round will decide the season. Whether the next 2 weeks we come back into the pack will be the decision. As I said from the very start, I think it's the last 2 games that will decide the season. I think it's that close between all the top 4. We could have beaten South today quite comfortably. We buried the first half, and then second half South showed how good they are. So there's really nothing between the teams. It's just a matter of which team is going to take their chances, basically.
This venue's been a bit of a graveyard for Launceston City sides in the past. So do you take confidence, despite the loss, that this is the first time we've had a City team come down here and really take a game to South like that?
I was, as you said, I've got nothing against my players. I thought I personally think we were the better team, full stop. So coming to South in Darcy Street and being the better team, we were just unlucky that we were a bit sloppy at the back and a couple of long balls, headers. We should have dealt with that. To their point, they finish, and the Brazilian is just a different player. So it's it's hard to have a structure against someone who's that nippy sometimes. And he was on his ball today, so I think did he get 2 at the end? Yeah.
Well, cheers, Jeff.
Thanks.
Cheers.